It's the early hours of July the 25th, 2021, COVID restrictions having recently been lifted. The place is the historical city of Oxford, England, home to one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the world. Having somehow become separated from his friends and having consequently become lost, 30-year-old Spanish national Jorge Martin Carreno is accosted by a stranger dressed all in black and with her face covered, whose offer of a walk with her he willingly accepts. The thing is, as he gets up now from the ground near the Radcliffe camera where he'd been sitting and starts striding alongside this mysterious stranger, Jorge has no idea of the danger that he's just entered into. His mysterious companion, you see, having none other than murder on her mind and having gone into central Oxford at the hour stated in search of a victim for her twisted scheme. By the time Jorge feels a heavy whack on the back of his head, followed by the excruciating constriction of his neck, whether by the woman's hands or by some sort of ligature, it is, of course, too late for him to escape the River Cherwell, keenly accepting his dead body into its waters when his murderer shoves it in, buzzing with delight as she does so. After sadistically dissecting a cat 4 months before this, under inspiration from a certain Netflix documentary, 23-year-old Scarlet Blake, the mystery murderous stranger that you've just met, remarked, quote, "Well, one day I want to learn to do this to a person," unquote. While she didn't get to eviscerate BMW engineer Jorge Martin Carreno either during or after her act of taking his life, she did get away with killing him for 2 whole years, and believe me, she made the best of that time. Now viewer, if I've got you hooked on the story so far, do subscribe, give the video a like, drop a comment when you're ready and donate. Hit the thanks button below, I'll appreciate you. Blake switched from boy to girl at the age of 12, her family having come over to the UK from China when she was 9, at which point she was still he. When I say switched, I mean that at the said point she began to live as a girl. I don't know about any surgery that she may have had, or when, if at all, she had it. In the pictures of her from after her act of murder, however, her face at least looks undoubtedly female to me. Blake's strange relationship with her parents, who were, as you might expect, devastated when their son announced that she was now their daughter, was but one of the severe difficulties that Blake had to deal with in her transition, which, as shown, began in her childhood, to living as a young woman. When her obsession with death, harm and killing began, and what caused it in contrast, I can't say. We can't attribute it to the development of a split personality on the woman's part, which led her, to be exact, to adopt the persona of a cat, or to the psychological damage caused to her by living in a society that wouldn't accept her as a true woman, if for no other reason than that the judge of the murder trial himself said that those 2 claims, which Blake herself made, were bullshit. There was no medical evidence to back the 2 claims up, you see. Wherever Blake's interest in death, harm and killing came from, she shared them with her lover, Aislinn Bell, another transgender woman who she met before the spring of 2021 and with whom she was overwhelmingly besotted. In March 2021, Blake took her neighbour's cat into her home where she had food waiting for it and strung it up by its neck using a ribbon. After strangling it, Blake cut it open, eviscerated it, and then stabbed, dissected and removed its heart, which she then preserved as a souvenir, so to speak. During the 3 minutes that Blake spent literally gutting the cat, Blake got off to the sight and sound of the gasps of pain and the other evident signs of distress coming from the cat, because, you see, Blake had been careful not to kill the cat with the act of hanging. She wanted it alive for the subsequent torture that she had lined up for it, and which, as shown, she subsequently gleefully perpetrated. And even when, at the end of the 3 minutes, the cat finally died, Blake continued to destroy the animal. To be exact, the cat's body ended up headless, skinless, and with a scalpel sticking out of its eyes, before being put into a blender. These acts of savagery on the cat were a gift from Blake to her lover. Blake, however, insisted in court that she performed these acts against her will, the encouragement for her to torture and kill the cat having come, of course, from her very lover, with whom she was, to remind you, besotted. Once again, however, the judge told her to fuck off with her barefaced lies. I've already mentioned the glee and pleasure that Blake expressed in response to the cat's agonised moans. On top of this, in the video showing her doing what she did to the cat, Blake herself having recorded the video, Blake can be seen smiling and laughing while she poses with the cat's severed head. Moreover, if she really didn't want to listen to any encouragement from Belle regarding harming the cat, she could have just blocked her lover. Belle, you understand, was based all the way over in America, her relationship with Blake then being purely online. The video, moreover, which started out as a live stream, has the song True Faith by New Order playing on a loop. That same track features in the Netflix documentary Don't Fuck With Cats, which portrays a man who kills cats and then goes on to kill people. This suggests more, I'd say, than Blake's enjoyment of torturing and killing the cat. The judge himself asserted, in fact, that this documentary played a part in cementing in Blake's fucked up mind the link between killing a cat and killing a person, the link, of course, being the sense of dominance and power to be had from the act of killing. If you're a fucked up psychopath, that is. Now, as an indication of just how excited Blake was about going out to take someone's life, just before going out on the 25th of July 2021 in search for a victim, she sent Belle a picture of her murder outfit: combat jacket, which Blake wore with the hood up, dark trousers, mask and backpack. And she knew just how much the picture would please Belle. It pleased Belle all right. After receiving the combat jacket as another gift from Blake and knowing its significance, Belle returned it sometime later with her semen all over it. As if that wasn't sickening enough, in the days after Jorge's body was found, Blake returned to the scene to take photographs both of the memorial left by his grieving family and of the tree next to which she had killed Jorge. This was in order to burnish her credentials as a killer with Belle, and we're seeing that she derived validation for her evil by having Belle literally appreciate her acts of evil. Now, in line with that, as much as a year later, and sorry that this horror story just doesn't stop, Blake again returned to the same spot with her new partner. Knowing what we know of the perpetrator, we can hardly be surprised either by the fact that she had hooked up with another fellow sadist, as she had, or by the fact that, correspondingly, she had boasted to that person of her killing, or by the fact that, disgustingly enough, that person took a photograph of Blake next to the same tree. On the 25th of July 2021, Jorge had just turned 30. He was one of three triplets who grew up together and were best friends. His brothers and parents describe him as someone who radiated kindness and humour and spread joy with his wit and contagious curiosity. It's just so unfortunate and so sad that he crossed paths with the psychopathic, murderous bastard Scarlet Blake. The perpetrator's 24-year sentence is nowhere near long enough as far as I'm concerned. Earlier, I said that I didn't know whether the perpetrator had had her sex changed surgically. She's been sent to a men's prison though, so I'd say that that's the answer. I wish him or her, whatever the fucking thing is, hell. If this video has gripped you, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.